Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, a paralegal turned stay-at-home mom who loves true crime. The cases I cover are wild, topics may be triggering, viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos and let's get started on today's case. The case of Brian Shaffer is one of the cases that keeps me up at night. There are so many jokes that start with a guy walks into a bar, but this is not a joke. This is real life. Brian Shaffer quite literally walked into a bar and was never seen again. This is his story. Brian Randall Shaffer was born on February 11, 1979 to Randy and Renee Shaffer. He grew up with his younger brother Derek in Pickerington, Ohio, which is a suburb outside of Columbus. He graduated high school in 1997 and had been at Ohio State since 1999, where he got his bachelor's degree in microbiology. He was in his second year at the Ohio State University College of Medicine. On March 6 of 2006, Brian's mom, Renee, died of cancer. March 31st, 2006 was a Friday, and in celebration of finishing off his exams, he had a steak dinner with his dad, Randy. Randy noted that his son was exhausted from cramming studying that week prior to exams and was happy to welcome spring break. Brian was in a seemingly committed relationship with Alexis Wagner, who was also a medical student at OSU. They had a fun spring break vacation to Miami, Florida, planned out months in advance. At 6:21 p.m., Brian messaged Alexis on MySpace saying, "I can't wait to go to Miami. And if you don't know what MySpace was, it was one of the first social media websites. It was epic. I would spend hours personalizing my page and was very careful to pick out the perfect song to match my mood. You would display your top 8, which was a list of your top 8 friends. You would quite literally rank your friends individually for the world to see where they stood in your life. Making someone's top 8 friends was elite, and if your ranking changed, people were quick to notice and questions were asked, and the drama was beautiful. Brian wanted to let loose and go bar hopping like your average college young adult, and so he did. That night at around 9 p.m., Brian met up with his friend and former dorm roommate named William Florence, who everyone called Clint. The Ugly Tuna Saloon was the name of one of the bars that they went to. It was a popular hangout spot for the college crowd. To get into the Ugly Tuna Saloon, you have to take an escalator or elevator to the second floor where the bar is located. I don't know what is a worse name, the Ugly Tuna Saloon in this case, or Talk of the Town Tavern in the Antoinette Galladito case. The last time Alexis spoke to Brian was when they spoke over the phone while he was enjoying his night out with friends. He told her he loved her and they hung up. At one point, they met up with Clint's friend, Meredith Reed, and after closing time, Clint and Meredith were unable to locate Brian. They figured he probably returned to his apartment without letting them know. An April 5th, 2006 article from The Lantern states that 27-year-old Brian Shaffer was last seen leaving the Ugly Tuna Saloon at 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, April 1st, 2006. On October 1st, 2006, Columbus Dispatch article states that Brian is seen walking into the Ugly Tuna Saloon at 1:55 a.m. on April 1st, 2006, and that tape never shows him leaving. An April 2009 article from the Columbus Monthly reports that the footage shows the trio enter the Ugly Tuna Saloona at 1:15 a.m. and just before 2 a.m. he is seen in the camera's view speaking to two other college women. They say goodbye, he walks away, and is never seen again. A February 12, 2017 Mail magazine article titled "A Guy Walks into a Bar and Is Never Seen Again" says that authorities seized surveillance camera footage that showed Brian, Clint, and Meredith riding the escalator up to the bar at 1:15 a.m. An hour later, Clint and Meredith are seen leaving the bar without Brian. Authorities were able to account for everyone at the Ugly Tuna Saloona that night except for Brian. Clint, Meredith, and Alexis and Randy's calls to Brian that night and all weekend go unanswered. They called the police after Brian missed his previously scheduled flight to Florida with Alexis on Monday morning. His dad, Randy, was worried his son had not shown up for Saturday for a planned visit to their family home. Brian and Alexis missed their April 3, 2006 flight to Miami. Brian was planning to propose. Alexis said that the week prior to going missing, Brian had joked, "Skip class tomorrow, let's go get married." Everyone, especially the Columbus Division of the Ohio Police, were looking for a 6'2" tall man weighing about 160 pounds with a Pearl Jam tattoo on his right bicep. He has hazel eyes and brown hair. 50 police officers were searching hospitals, homeless shelters, jails, plane tickets, going door to door. But not even the police dogs were able to track Brian's scent. His Honda Accord remained parked outside his apartment. His medical books were neatly lined up. His bed was made. Brian's brother Derek Shaffer told reporters, and I quote, "The police were just as confused as the rest of us. They did everything they could to try and find my brother," unquote. To this day, there has been no activity on Brian's cell phone, credit cards, or social security number. A month after going missing, someone broke into Brian's apartment and stole a TV and DVDs. Authorities believe that this was unrelated to his disappearance. For years, Alexis made sure that the singular wireless phone bill that belonged to Brian's account was paid so that she could keep her habit of calling his phone just to hear his voice. Singular used to be a phone company back in my day. 24-year-old Alexis Wagner would call his phone every night just to hear his voice in a voicemail that said, "Hi, this is Brian. I am unable to come to the phone right now. Leave me a message. I'll get back to you quickly." 6 months after going missing, Alexis's usual calls to Brian's phone rang 3 times instead of going straight to voicemail. She memorialized the occasion by calling police, followed by a MySpace post that read, "It scared the crap out of me. I had no idea what I would say if a person answered it." Brian's phone pinged at a tower in Hillard, which is a suburb town 14 miles northwest of where he went missing. It could have been a glitch, or it could have been real activity on Brian's phone.